Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, tonight we're going to talk about the assault weapons ban. I'm going to start off by reading a list. I want you to stick with me as I read this list. It's not a short list, but it is important to illustrate the stakes. Wycliffe Middle School, 1 dead, 5 wounded. Blackville Hilda High School, 2 dead, 1 wounded. Richland High School, 2 dead, 1 wounded. Frontier Middle School, 3 dead, 1 wounded. Bethel Regional High School, 2 dead, 2 wounded. Pearl High School, 3 dead, 7 wounded. Heath High School, 3 dead, 5 wounded. Westside Middle School, 5 dead, 10 wounded. Parker Middle School, 1 dead, 3 wounded. Thurston High School, 4 dead, 25 wounded. Columbine High School, 15 dead, 21 wounded. Santana High School, 2 dead, 13 wounded. McDonough High School, 1 dead, 3 wounded. What do all of these have in common? All of these shootings took place when the United States had an assault weapons ban in place. This is about a third of them. It's not even all of them. The assault weapons ban is an emotional reaction. It's a band-aid on a bullet wound, no. It's not going to do any good. It didn't last time. It did not last time. It's not going to do any good because in the firearms vocabulary, there's no such thing as an assault weapon. It's a made-up political term. From that alone, it should tell you that this isn't going to work. It does not exist. It's not a real thing. The things that are classified as assault weapons, like the AR-15, it's all cosmetic. I did a 3-part series on guns, gun control, and school shootings. I'm going to link it. Please watch it. Doesn't matter where you fall on this. If you're anti-gun, you need to watch the first 2. If you are pro-gun, you need to watch the third one. And right now, I'm sure there's some pro-gun people out there going, yeah, you're proving your point. You just sit down and wait. The assault weapons ban isn't going to do what you think it will. And I know somebody's saying, well, it's not going to hurt. Yeah, it will. The reason weapons like the AR-15 get used so often, the AR-15 is the most popular rifle in the United States. So when a kid decides he wants to shoot up a school, guess what's in the house? This would be a lot like banning the Camry because it gets used in a lot of drunk driving accidents because it's a popular car. Doesn't make any sense. Well, it won't hurt. Yeah, it will. Most of the weapons that are classified as assault weapons by legislation, they are low to intermediate power, like the AR-15. If you take those off, get rid of them, and let's assume somehow you're magically going to make this work and people are just going to give them up, it will be replaced with the most likely candidate is a 30-06, which is a very high-powered rifle. It worked in other countries? Not really. Not the way you think. But even, let's say that it did. Other countries didn't have more guns than people. The United States does. We are a very special case when it comes to guns. And at the end of the day, it isn't the firearm. Semi-automatic firearms have been available for the civilian public for more than 100 years. This is a relatively new phenomenon. Okay. Now to the gun people, just stop. This is your fault. This is your fault. It's not my fault. Yeah, it is. Gun's just a tool, right? How many photos you have on Facebook of you holding a hammer, a screwdriver, or a sawzall, pretending like it makes you a man? None, right? Just that rifle. Just that one tool. glorifying that violence. Well, I needed to fight back against the government. Sure, you could, but you won't. LARPing on the weekend and posting photos of it on Facebook proves you won't. And then there's the memes. Every time I see one, it drives me nuts. Well, my gun sits there in the corner. It's never jumped up and killed anybody. Right, my question is, why is your weapon not secured? Out of these shootings that I named, how many were done because the shooter got access to a weapon that wasn't secured? Almost all of them. Glorify violence for everything. Everything, every little infraction becomes something worthy of death. Well, these protesters are making me late. Let's try to pass legislation so we can run them over and kill them. Step on my flag, I'll shoot you. And then you wonder why some kid walks into a school and starts killing people. I taught my kid to shoot at 12 years old. That's cool. When did you teach him conflict resolution, coping skills? No? Maybe he's not ready for a firearm. I learned at that age. Learned at 12, 11, something like that. I can tell this story because the person that did it is gone. I'm fairly certain if you did this today, CPS would come take your kids. But I learned to shoot on a Marlin Model 60, 22 caliber rifle. And he handed it to me and had me shoot a shoebox. Shot it for 10 minutes. Then he went and got the shoebox, took the duct tape off of it, and showed me the squirrel inside. From the very beginning, for me, it actually was a tool. It's a tool with one purpose: to kill. That's what a firearm is for. Stop pretending like holding one makes you masculine. It doesn't. But it gives the idea that the gun makes the man. And this is the result. You can't blame this on libtards. It's not what it is. It's the reaction to what you do, the image you present. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.